Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either May 2nd or 3rd, 2023, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? This video is coming to you quite early this week. I mentioned last week that I was gonna have a little bit of problem solving to do about when I was going to do this video, since I am going to amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con this weekend. And I had a little bit of time today, so I thought, well, why don't I just do it early, knock it out, one less thing to worry about. I'll make a really quick video, no fuss, no muss. Then I started doing research, and I realized there's just a ton of books to talk about today, like way too many. So I am probably going to comment on them like not at all. This is a very here's the book, here's the description, let's go on to the next one type of video. So bear with me as we work through the many books that I want to have on your radar this upcoming week. Now, usually at the beginning of these videos, we start off by taking a look back at my pick from 2 weeks ago, but fortunately I didn't have a pick 2 weeks ago, so we can move right past that into the list. Let's go ahead and start all my many honorable mentions off first with a new book that comes out this upcoming week. It is called Star Signs, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. The constellations of the zodiac fall to the earth, granting 12 ordinary people from very different walks of life the superhuman powers of the star signs. But each of them is about to learn that power always comes with a price. Eisner-winning writer Saladin Ahmed and sci-fi star artist Megan Levins launch an exciting new series about astrology, superpowers, and diverse found family in the tradition of X-Men and heroes. Listen, if you are into astrology, this might be interesting to you. If you're not so into astrology, probably a lot less interested. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It's not a new book. Whew, focus, Jeff. This is issue number 2 of a book, and that book is Hairball, issue number 2 of a 4-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. A brand new supernatural nightmare that's Junji Ito meets Hayao Miyazaki from the Eisner-nominated creators of Fear Case and Apache Delivery Service. As the young girl's black cat continues to plague her family with horror and tragedy, she decries she must take matters into her own hands to put an end to the feline's evil ways. This is on my list this week because it is a book I am buying. I bought Hairball. I think I got a Hairball stuck in my throat there for a second. I bought Hairball issue number 1. I haven't read it yet, but I bought it off of the strength of my appreciation for writer Matt Kint. I think he's fantastic, so I'm really looking forward to reading issue number 1. I just haven't had the chance yet, but I'm buying issue number 2 because it's only a 4-issue limited series from a writer that I'm a big fan of. I haven't even read it, and I still recommend it. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Survival, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. When Emma Reed journeyed back to her hometown in Alaska, she was expecting little more than a tense family reunion at the annual military alumni get-together. But early that morning, a plane crash landed in the thick woods near the mountain, and the creature within brings an ancient terror to the last American frontier, and will turn this unspoiled wilderness into a killing ground. All right, that sounds interesting to you. It's only a 5-issue limited series. Maybe you'll check that out. The next book I want to mention to you is Carnage Reigns Alpha, which generally means it's a one-shot teeing up a larger, often arcing, what do they call it, with lots of tie-ins from other titles type of series. So this is Carnage Reigns Alpha. They also call it issue number 1. That's redundant. Here we go. Here's the description. Carnage versus Miles Morales. Cletus Cassidy is back and badder than ever, with his soul trapped within the extremiate armor created by Tony Stark during King in Black. Cletus has the means to level an untold amount of chaos and, well, carnage on New York City and the entire Marvel Universe. But like any good Tony Stark invention, the extremist coursing through Cletus's symbiotic veins needs power. And that means Cletus is hungry. Good thing Brooklyn's very own Spider-Man is there to stand in his way, if he survives their first encounter, that is. You know, Carnage is cool. People like Carnage. If you like Carnage, you might be interested in this book as well as this next book, which is Cult of Carnage, Misery. Issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Death and destruction return home. Liz Allen is the mother of Normie Osborn, who she is blissfully unaware is the all-new and all-deadly Red Goblin. But what Liz does know is that the Red Goblin has been active and has been seen very close to her home. And after her late husband's father, Norman Osborn, maybe you've heard of him, gets pulled into the chaos and violence swirling around Normie, Liz has no choice but to use the resources at her disposal as the head of Alchemax to take matters into her own hands and become something the Marvel Universe has never seen before. I'm not so up on the symbiotes to know what the Marvel Universe truly has not seen before and hasn't seen before. Possibly Misery is a brand new character in the symbiote family. If that's something that tickles your fancy, you might consider picking this book up this week. The next book I want to mention to you is Demon Wars Scarlet Sin, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. The yokai are at war, and Marika Yashida, descendant of the Oni King, has to choose a side. The fates of the spirit world and the human world hang in the balance. But things just got complicated thanks to the appearance of a mysterious yokai with incredible power. This yokai has a scheme of her own, and she wants to paint the world scarlet. You can't afford to miss the cataclysmic conclusion of Peach Momoko's epic Demon Wars saga. I never thought that Peach Momoko's Demon Wars saga was gonna go this long, but it just keeps going. I read it at first and I stuck with it for a while and it was good. I really, really enjoyed it when I thought it was a limited series, but then it kept coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, and so I kind of fell to the side. Apparently, this is the end, but it was good. For what it was kind of a Japanese folklore version of the Marvel Universe, but it was quite good for that. So if that type of thing interests you, I don't know that I would recommend starting at the end, but here it is. The next book I want to mention to you is Edge of Spiderverse, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Into the other edge of the Spider-Verse. Spider-Rex returns and faces the Venomsaurus. Plus, who is the Spider Killer? Xander Cannon introduces the world to the scariest spider character ever created, bringing your favorite breakout characters back, as well as introducing brand new spiders who will blow your mind. The Spider-Verse is not to be ignored. I would have never guessed that if you told me that you were going to just give kind of Spider-Man's powers to everybody from, you know, a different teen in Brooklyn to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I would have been like, that sounds stupid. Why can't Spider-Man just be enough Spider-Man for people? But let me tell you something, it's a hit, and I kind of get it. Spider-Man's cool, so building that out has been very cool. So you have to pay attention to this stuff. I don't know if there's going to be anything of specific note in this first issue, but you need to fully be aware of this Edge of Spider-Verse series that's coming out, this 4-part series, every month for the next 4 months, I guess. Keep it on your radar consistently. I'll probably be talking about it each time it comes out in these videos. The next book I want to mention is Groot. Issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Here comes Daisy. Monster, hero, guardian, Groot. Before he was a guardian of the galaxy, before the Groot fall, young Groot lived a life of tranquility on his serene home world. But when monstrous invaders attack his planet, Groot must accept his heroic destiny. Will this destiny lead him to come to blows with the young Kree soldier by the name of Mar-Vell? Join writer Dan Abnett and artist Damian Cusiero as they reveal never-before-seen moments of Groot's origin and first adventure through the galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy proved that Groot is a fun and interesting and entertaining character. I don't know how you have, it's a limited series, how you do 4 issues with a character who only says, I am Groot. I guess you're going to need other people who understand him translating for the audience, or it's just going to be mostly action-based. Regardless, Groot is a fun character. I'm into fun. If they find fun in this comic book, I would be interested. So if you're a big fan of Groot or the Guardians, you want to try it out, I want it to be on your radar. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Lots of Marvel books this week. From the shadow of Exodus comes the Dark Genesis. Miguel O'Hara, the futuristic Spider-Man of 2099, must face a sinister carnage like never before. As society begins to crumble, Spider-Man 2099 will need all the help he can get. But does the public even want his help? Or do they all just want to watch the world burn? Steve Orlando continues his journey through the future world of 2099, this time paired with bombastic artist Justin Mason. Get ready for the debut of new heroes and villains that populate the future. So, most of us already know, and if you don't, here you go. Spider-Man 2099 is going to be in the next Into the Spiderverse animated movie. That is going to throw a lot more heat, and light already has, on the character. And who knows, if the character is popular enough coming out of that movie, who knows if we'll see more and more from this character into the future. I mean, the Spider-Verse has made anything possible. So we could see maybe Spider-Man 2099 in a live action, and then who knows, maybe if that continues to gain some traction, we're going to need new characters and new villains from his universe, and they might be seen here for the first time. So if you like to go deep in your Spider-Man spec, which, you know, I have to admit, specking on Spider-Man 2099 is pretty deep, I want this to be on your radar. The next book I mentioned to you this week is Star Wars, issue number 34 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. The Broken Saber of Skywalker. Luke Skywalker searches for one of the rarest substances in the galaxy, Kyber, the living crystal that powers lightsabers. Does it hold the answer to the unpredictable thing the Force has become? What long-lost secret is he about to uncover? I only mention this book this week as I do every time it comes out, because I'm reading it, because I like it, because I think it's good, because it's in my pull, and I'll be picking it up this week, so I mention it in my videos. Here we go. The next book I want to mention to you is Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Lando, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Lando and Chewie ante up to save the galaxy. When Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca find themselves on a perilous mission to steal from Jabba himself, a dangerous figure from Lando's past threatens their plans and their lives. Chewie finds that putting his trust in Calrissian is a gamble that just might pay off, as Lando calls on his skills as a smuggler to make it out alive. Part of a series of one-shots celebrating the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, this story by Stephanie Phillips and Alvaro Lopez brings you a new high-stakes adventure with some of Star Wars' most beloved characters. Okay, they've been doing these Return of the Jedi one-shots. They did a Jabba's Palace one. They did an Ewok one. Now we got Lando Calrissian. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you might want to consider picking it up. The next book I'm going to mention to you is a new book. It is X-Men, Before the Fall, Sons of X, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. A battle of the titans of the X universe. A man of innumerable personalities and powers versus the most powerful artificial intelligence in this universe. Legion versus Nimrod. With Nightcrawler in Orcus's clutches, David Haller and his allies will have to confront the mastermind who destroyed Warlock and nearly took Krakoa with him. But Nightcrawler is not himself, and Legion's allies aren't all they seem to be either. Mutant monsters roam the earth. Banshee, broken once again, dreams of lost vengeance. Mother Righteous, her role in Sins of Sinister unrevealed, takes another stab at universal control. Cy Spurrier and Phil Noto usher in new status quos for some of your favorite X-Men in this can't-miss one-shot. I mentioned this one because I'm a big X-Men fan, but I don't read any X-Men books right now. I keep wanting to, and I just never find any real interest in them. But I think that Legion and Nimrod are very cool characters, and they're together in this book, so it could be really pretty cool. They also said that they're calling this, like, part of the title is Before the Fall. They keep teasing me with the fall of the mutants. The mutants need to be taken down 1,000 pegs. And I'm really looking forward to that happening. Hopefully, this is where that will truly begin. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Astrobots, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Massive and whatnot. Here's the description. Cover by Philip Knott, known for his work on IDW's Transformers Last Bot Standing. Simon Furman, writer of the original Transformers comic series and creator of Marvel's Death Head, has teamed up with heavy metal artist Hector Trueneck to create an all-new mecha masterwork based on the toy line designed by Aaron Thomas. Pathfinders, pioneers, breaking new ground in the furthest reaches of the galaxy. They are Astrobots. The clock is ticking for planet Earth, and the race is on to find a new world capable of sustaining human life. New, sophisticated machine life forms called Astrobots are dispatched to far-flung worlds in the hope of crafting a new home. With food and raw materials running out and climate disasters escalating, the evacuation of the entire human population is the only slender hope remaining. On Colony World 1, a catastrophic power struggle forges a new, all-Astrobot society, and presiding over this nascent civilization is Atlas, an evolved mech with a future-proof plan, a plan that does not include humankind. When I first was doing my research and I saw this book, I was like, skip. But then as I read the description, I was like, you know what? All right, this could be cool. This could be a lot of fun. For somebody who enjoys these type of things, kind of Transformers, mechs, sci-fi kind of stuff, this could be probably really fun and really entertaining, so I put it on the list. The next book I want to mention to you this week is a new book. It is called Lamentation, issue number 1 from Oni Press, Inc. Here's the description. From the mind's eye of master storyteller Cullen Bunn and rising star Arjuna Susini, comes a darkly glamorous tale of bone-splintering terror at the intersection of shadow and light, dream and nightmare, life and the grim specter of death himself. After weeks of grueling rehearsals, a new production is set to begin at the famed Requiem Theater, Razide's Lament. 3 acts of gothic horror set inside a haunted castle with a story that some say is more than mere fantasy. Under the stern rule of a dedicated but temperamental director, the script seems to be ever-changing. And more mysterious still, our lead actress has found herself cast in the role of a lifetime without so much as an audition. Her grand debut is fast approaching, and with it, a barrage of razors in the night that will terrorize audiences and actors alike. There is no exit, no escape, and when the curtain finally rises, Razide himself will take center stage to cross the threshold into the unholy darkness that lies just beyond. I have to admit this description doesn't sound so exciting. Sounds a little, I don't know, ridiculous in a way. But it's from Colin Bunn. Colin Bunn knows what he's doing. Colin Bunn is a very talented, prolific writer. Colin Bunn is not to be ignored. So if you're a fan of Colin Bunn, you might want to consider picking up this book this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Monomyth, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Mad Cave Studios. Here's the description. Magic is all but extinct. When the last ailing wizard casts a final desperate spell to summon the descendants of ancient bloodlines to a school for magic now in disrepair, those chosen ones find a horror of the likes they've never experienced. They will have to confront the deepest parts of themselves, their tragic pasts, and defeat each other to survive the ordeal. Monomyth is an all-new mini-series from the mind of David Shazam. He wrote Night of Nottingham, which was quite a hit. People were a big fan of it. I didn't read it, but people got really excited about it. It popped up on the secondary market because of reader buzz, and that's the best reason to pop on the secondary market. So maybe if the tone of this is interesting to you, maybe you consider checking it out. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Peacemaker Tries Hard, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from DC Black Label. Here's the description. Having earned his release from the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker wants to try and do normal superhero stuff for a change. Unfortunately, everyone, including the bad guys, thinks he sucks at superhero stuff. But when busting up a terrorist ring introduces Christopher Smith to the cutest thing to ever walk awkwardly, it's awkward to say as well, on 4 legs, he finds the unconditional love he's been denied his whole life. That is, until the dog is kidnapped right out from under him by a supervillain who has some very un-superheroic plans for Peacemaker's brand of ultraviolence. Will he help an infamously unstable, superpowered criminal steal the world's most valuable and dangerous DNA? Honestly, Christopher's pretty lonely, so it probably just depends on how nicely they ask. Breakout writer Kyle Starks and art legend Steve Pugh deliver a brutal and hilarious take on DC's biggest POS that will bust guts, break bones, and melt hearts. I don't know about you, I watched Peacemaker and I thought it was great. I like fun and it was a ton of fun. I did not like the character. I, in fact, hated the character from the last Justice League. He made me so mad. And I was like, I'm going to watch this television show about him, but you got something to prove. And prove something he did. It was great, very entertaining, proved that there's a lot of potential in the character. If you enjoyed the television show, if you enjoyed the character, you might consider this comic book this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Shazam, issue number 1 from DC. Here's the description. The world's finest creators present the world's mightiest mortal in a dazzling solo series. Dinosaurs from space, the clubhouse of eternity, homicidal worms, and talking tigers. Atomic robots, alien worlds, mad scientists, sinister curses, and villains from throughout the DC universe. Welcome to the wild adventures of Billy Baston, whose big red alter ego defends the Earth from its weirdest and wildest threats. Want to stop Lex Luthor and the Joker? Call Superman and Batman. International crisis? Page Wonder Woman. But when Gargwax, Emperor of the Moon, sets his sights on Gorilla City, that's when you shout Shazam. The fan-favorite team of Mark Waid and Dan Mora brings the magic. I would normally not be interested in a Shazam solo title at all, but you threw writer Mark Waid and artist Dan Mora at me, and that definitely makes it a lot more interesting. So if you're a fan of Shazam or you're a fan of this artist and writer, you might consider this book this week. And finally, that brings us to the one book this week that I would buy if I could buy just one book. And that one book would be Batman, issue 135 from DC. Here's the description. It's Batman versus Red Mask in a brutal Gotham that's never known hope. Can the Dark Knight overcome the terrifying infection that Red Mask has unleashed? Only one thing is certain. He won't be able to do it alone. The conclusion to the best-selling The Batman of Gotham is so big it could only be contained in an oversized number 900 anniversary issue featuring the return of fan-favorite artist Jorge Jimenez and a wild collection of guest stars, full of wild revelations and a new path for Batman. This is one issue you won't want to miss. All right, so that last statement is oftentimes hyperbole, but maybe they actually mean it this time. Probably not. But that being said, I chose this book this week for several reasons. For one, the same reason I mention this book every time it comes out. It's really, really great. Batman is absolutely, hands down, one of the best, if not the best, superhero out there. So that's one good reason. The writing by Chip Zdarsky, as is typical of Chip Zdarsky, is super fantastic. I'm a big fan of Chip Zdarsky. He's like my number 2 favorite writer, and that's saying something. And artist Jorge Jimenez is returning back on the title after a little bit of a break with this issue, and his art is really fantastic. I've mentioned before in videos, I'm a writer-focused enjoyer of comic books, but the talent of Jorge Jimenez is undeniable. It's really, really good. So there's so much going on just there in Batman. Every month it comes out. But this is the legacy numbering issue number 900 of Batman. So oftentimes these special things are just thicker and more expensive, which this one is. Actually, I expected this to be more like in the $10 range. It's $6.99, so that's not too horrible. But if I was DC right now, I would inject something interesting into, like significantly interesting to the consumer, above and beyond just great storytelling and art, into this book right here. Now, this is a week where we have like Edge of Spiderverse coming out, which has just proven its spec potential over and over and over and over and over again. Batman really hasn't done that, at least not in a while. But I think that there's potential for it here to happen in this book. I'm most excited about it. It's the book I'm most excited about this week, and that's one of, with everything else I said, all of the reasons that Batman issue number 135, Legacy issue number 900 is my just one book pick for this week. All right, that's it. Help me, help me, help me. I hope this video doesn't go past half an hour. So I'm going to amazing Las Vegas Comic Con this weekend. I'm going to try to do some YouTube lives from there. I practiced yesterday. Thank you for those of you who checked that out. So make sure if you're subscribed, you have that notification bell hit. I'll try to schedule them. I'm not quite sure how to do that, but they might just kind of pop up randomly. If you're available to watch it, I'd love for you to check out what I'm up to. If you like this video, likes are appreciated by me. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.